Well, did the Air Force create the stories about alien technology being stashed and tested at Area 51? A major newspaper says the whole thing was made up by the Air Force in order to mislead the American public and our adversaries.
Now, the release of a new documentary film has stirred up renewed interest in Area 51 lore. And the big question, was it all propaganda? 8 News Now Chief Investigator George Knapp joining us here in the studio with more.
You can guess where I am on this. This new version of what happened 37 years ago was published in the Wall Street Journal, a highly respected newspaper. But is it true? Those who were present when the story exploded back in 1989 think the Air Force is engaged in a form of reverse engineering, that is, rewriting history.
It still draws people every day.
Yes, Dad. Every single day.
You want burgers? 1, 2, 3, 4.
For nearly 40 years, the family which owns the tiny desert outpost formerly known as the Rachel Bar and Grill has openly embraced the now familiar lore about exotic, possibly alien technology being tested at Area 51, the world's best-known, supposedly secret military base. The town of Rachel and its now famous watering hole are the closest stopovers to the Groom Lake base.
Thank you.
And base workers are a core clientele. In late 1989, the owners, Joe and Pat Travis, came up with a new theme and new name for their struggling business.
The Alien. Yeah, that alien, you know.
The late Joe Travis saw the change as a slam dunk marketing opportunity.
It's been fantastic for us.
A way to capitalize on the new flow of visitors drawn to Rachel by stories of alien tech being tested inside the forbidden zone of Area 51. Public interest exploded starting in May 1989 when KLAS aired an interview with an anonymous former government employee who told an outrageous story.
Well, there's several, actually 9 flying saucers, flying discs that are out there of extraterrestrial origin.
Within days of that interview, curious people began flocking to the outskirts of Area 51 to watch the skies. Within months, tour buses filled with scores of the UFO curious poured into the desert.
This is a classic mothership appearance.
And when the identity of the whistleblower, Bob Lazar, was revealed in November 1989, public interest went into the stratosphere. Media from all over the world beat a path to Area 51's door. Every day since then, aviation watchers and UFO believers have staked out vantage points to watch the skies over Groom Lake for whatever might be flying, of earthly origin or not. For Area 51 security, it's been a nightmare. A huge array of cameras and sensors had to be installed around the perimeter.
You'll see it's clearly marked U.S. government property.
The so-called camo dudes had to be positioned 24/7 at every possible entry point to handle the hordes who foolishly tried to slip in. Things grew even more complicated when the state of Nevada dedicated the world's first extraterrestrial highway. The local baseball team was renamed the 51s. Countless products such as posters, t-shirts, trinkets, rock bands, and video games were launched, and the once secret base became known all over the world via books, TV shows, and blockbuster movies.
It ain't on a map. Trust me, it's there.
Eventually, the notoriety caused even bigger headaches for the base when thousands gathered in 2019 with the stated intention to storm Area 51 all at once. Did all of this chaos and irritation happen on purpose? That's an allegation reported recently by the Wall Street Journal. The story alleges that an unnamed Air Force officer on an unknown date created the UFO myth by handing over fake UFO photos to the owners of an unspecified bar near the base. There's only one, and it does have a wall with assorted photos. The plan was to confuse the public and eventually discourage people from paying attention to what was really being flown out of Groom Lake. At the time, most notably, the F-117 stealth fighter. The owners of the bar in question think the tall tale is laughable.
You know, it's possible somebody came out with fake photos and gave them to you.
Yeah,
that isn't why you made the change in the name and it changed. Yeah.
No.
The F-117 was no secret to folks in rural Nevada. They'd seen it flying many times, along with other more exotic objects in the sky. The existence of that plane had been reported by KLAS and other media as far back as the early 80s. UFO sightings over Nevada date back to the 1940s. If the Air Force plan was to use fake UFO photos to confuse or discourage further interest in real Area 51 projects, it was a miserable failure and had the exact opposite effect.
So we're going to tell people we're testing alien technology instead. How'd that work out?
Yeah, that worked out. That did a really good job. But, that doesn't make sense.
Remember, years ago, they wrote you and I off as kooks because we would just talk about this.
Nevada business owner and military veteran George Harris had a lifelong interest in the UFO topic and is one of the few civilians without a security clearance allowed to cross into Area 51. Harris founded the Alien Research Center, a UFO-themed store in Hyco, where the ET Highway begins. He also launched a successful brand, Alien Tequila, and other products. His property was one of the hubs during the Storm Area 51 event. He says he worked on psychological warfare problems while in the Army and recognizes the necessity of cover stories and disinformation at times, but thinks the fake photo ruse, if it's true, was pretty lame.
The sadness is of this whole process is that they actually thought it was going to scare everybody and everybody would stay away. The cover-up is how the government fueled the whole UFO story. That's how they fueled it.
The CIA tried its own hand at rewriting history a while back, claiming in a report that half of all UFO incidents in the United States in the 50s and 60s were caused by CIA spy planes, the U-2 and SR-71. The story was ridiculous. U-2s don't hover over people's homes, SR-71s don't land in people's backyards, and neither of those gangly planes looks like a flying saucer. When those two planes were launched, there was no spike in UFO reports whatsoever. Clever attempt, though, but it's a bunch of baloney.
So what about those photos?
The photos, yeah, it'd be great to see them, but if they exist, no one I know has ever seen it. The people at the Alien has never seen it. They've got photos, but nothing that would create something like this. So it'd be a great time to put up or shut up, Air Force, if you got them.
Okay, let's find out. You put the call out.